We're heading into Battlefield of Eternity, everybody. KD Agents against the Sloth Sanctuary. Underdog Cup number 3, ladies and gentlemen. A tournament that focuses on the amateur scene, that is designed to shed a little bit of a spotlight onto the grassroots teams. And in this tournament right now, we have teams participate that play in Heroes Lounge, ranging from Division 2 all the way down to Division 5. And actually, in this particular encounter, we have a Division 2 team. We have the KD Agents going up against Sloth Sanctuary, who are in Division 4. Now, obviously, we have, guys, we have tons of teams here. We have 16 teams in total, split into 2 groups. As we're going through the earlier rounds, there are, of course, some, I want to say, mismatches. This is something that shocks some people in the occasional tournament comment that I get on particularly YouTube. They're like, oh my god, what a stomp. And I was like, well, that's kind of what happens in a lot of games when you're looking at the tournament. Normally, most tournaments and organizations work with seedings, so that you try to guarantee that the top teams are only facing off against each other at the later rounds, unless there's an upset. So in this case, we have a clear favorite. We have the KD Agents in blue that are supposedly the team to win this one. Starting things off with a pick of Li Ming on Battlefield of Eternity. We have a draft rule in play that every single hero can only be played once within the series. Makes it first of all more interesting for the teams from a tactical perspective, because they can target preference picks of the opponent a little bit more aggressively by, for example, picking the hero for themselves and denying it to the opponent's team. But also, you know, try to exploit weak hero pools on the opponent's side. But it makes it also more interesting for the audience, because you don't see the same heroes in every single game. We have actually a start here now from the red team into Oriel and also Vala. So likely an arrow build, unless they're adding a second support on this, and we could see the auto attack style for them. But with Li Ming picked early, we get now Imperious and Malfurion. Every time I see a Malfurion pick, I'm immediately thinking, okay, are we going to see a potential Tracer follow-up on that? Varian gets banned, so that's obviously another one that you can follow up on. If Varian comes in with a taunt and then Malfurion gets the roots in, that's also quite nasty. We have, at least in this case, a lunge from Imperious and then Malfurion roots, so the CC is definitely there. But you can also support Li Ming a little bit. Uther gets banned, so they are a bit worried that there's going to be an Uther main tank plus Oriel on the side of the Sloth Sanctuary, empowering Vala to go for the auto attack build and then just rip the front line apart as the game continues. Battlefield of Eternity does not mean you have to go into an arrow build. Oftentimes we see an auto attack style. Specifically on the higher end play, it's mostly auto attacks where you're trying to win the team fight and then you focus on the objective. Whereas the lower you go, that's maybe not quite fair. The lower you go, the more arrow builds you see, but you also, of course, still get a fair amount of arrow builds for Vala with Battlefield of Eternity, just because that level 1 and level 7 talent synergy is so powerful and allows her to quickly take the Immortal out if she focuses on it. But, again, we get her together with Sylvanas now. So, Chen and Alarak. Oof. Chen main tank from the looks of it. Or is it going to be Imperious? Battlefield of Eternity with a pretty beefy frontline for the KD Agents now. I am curious. Color me intrigued. It's going to be an interesting one. But on the left side, the final pick for the Sloth Sanctuary. What's it going to be? It's Arthas. So Jojo, Arthas, and then we get Oriel with it. Alright, not too bad. Battlefield of Eternity, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 1 between the Sloth Sanctuary and the KD Agents. Well, over on the left side, on Battlefield of Eternity, we have the blue team, the KD Agents, with Simply on Imperious. We get Kani on Li Ming, Time Bullet with Chen, the White Tiger on Alarak, and Meg Giblets on Malfurion. On the right side of the map, there are opponents. We got Zolt's Decay with the arrow build on Vala, as expected. Cosmic is playing Oriel. We got Narsha on Sylvanas, Ruini on Joanna, and the Rabbit on Arthas. So, Alarak. Well, I'm very, very intrigued to see how much of an impact he's going to have here. What can he do with that lightning build of his? Down to the bot lane. We have the pleb horse for Kani. That's already a miss. Alright there. Kani, you're better than this. Actually, I don't know you, but I hope you're better than this. Pleb Horse, really? 2025? The only players that have an excuse to play the Pleb Horse, and even there it's a stretch, are the NA players that are playing cross-server. That's the only thing. But, oh, that was brutal. What a flank! Nice connect from Imperius, and woof! That's nearly a follow-up kill on Sylvanas too, so she barely made it out. Good for her. The Imperius main tank play by Simply, as Chen has taken to the side lane against Arthas, but yep, nice start. Interesting, by the way, to see now the level 1 talent on Johanna. Laws of Hope is something that you see not all that often for her. Lately, a little bit more so, but mostly on maps like Tomb of the Spider Queen. Seeing a globe talent like this on Battlefield is always a little bit weird because you just don't have as much lane exposure. You can't just move between lanes and get multiple globes. You have them on opposite sides of the map, and then it's just all objective territory in the middle. If you win, of course, reliably on the Immortal and you take your camps a whole lot, then yeah, you might be able to pick up a few more of them. But generally speaking, this is not something that we're seeing a lot, and well, for good reason. Currently, Jojo is already missing out on some of those globes, and will have a tough time stacking this properly. But still believes in the value that she is going to get here. Level 1, we get the Eye of the Tiger for Jen. And he's up at the top against Arthas, the Rabbit with Rhyme on level 1. And down to the bottom of the map, now that the objective is soon going to be announced. We're having the team still heavily dancing around here, with level 4 kicking in. And the camp still not taken. Alarak is going for the negatively charged, of course. We have Triumvirate in, but I was expecting the teams to make more of an aggressive play for the 2 mercenary camps on the map before that, but that's not happening. Instead, they're just going for the Shaman camp, as we now have the objective announced. This is really the time to go for it. With level 4 talents, we get Hold Your Ground, and we got Frozen Wastes for Arthas. They are invading. They are actually getting really aggressive around this, trying to prevent the opponent to grab their camp. So they are not having any of it, but they're a little bit late to the party because of all of that and because of the initial delay, which means that the blue team should be able to get a bit of a lead on this, which is likely what's going to happen here. Yeah, they get the initial start, but they're not as committed to it as I expected them to be. So now down at the bottom of the map, even without Monster Hunter, Vala is still getting some nice connects. The race is on. Alarak looks for the combo. Malfurion with the root. Nicely done. The follow-up from Imperius. Can they get a kill? Imperius is low and he's the first one to fall. Imperius is down. Now counter kill yet. And Fat Illidan comes in to takes down Sylvanas. Yeah, and he jumps in once again, but that Iron Skin put him into a pretty awkward position. And Limning again with a combo on the damage. Nice. Yeah, the blue team, they know they're the favorites here, and they decided that the way to play the game is to be aggressive, force mistakes on the opponent's side, and then exploit them ruthlessly. And I like it. If you know that you are at least on paper the favorite, there is nothing that prevents you from being aggressive, trying to force mistakes on the other side, and just doing your thing. They win the halftime show on the first objective, and now the fight can easily be picked up again, and it starts with Vala getting extremely pressured. Cosmic and Oriel is topping everybody off, but they're also isolating Sylvanas a little bit on the side. The team's still defending, with Liming being the only one attempting to do immortal damage. Sylvanas jumps back out again. The 4-man defense is there. Malfurion with the heals and the roots on the ground, as Imperius has to move back out. But Illidan, Fat Illidan, Chen, he gets the kill on Vala, and now they're trying to follow that up with a number 2 kill on, on Johanna. Chen has also fallen, but it's a 2-for-1 trade, and it's a big shield. It's a big, big shield here. And they're getting another one. They're taking Arthas down. Arthas is also dead. Level 7 talents on both sides, which gives us Seeker over Calamity. Likely a glass cannon build for Liming here. But that's 5 kills to 2, and it should give them a decent amount of damage at the top Because, well, there are not too many heroes here to properly defend this. And they have to be very careful that Alarak does not get connects like this one, because the follow-up will be there. Imperius gets the lunge, and Vala is basically dead. Well, and Sylvanas is dead. Sylvanas actually dies. So now we have a fort falling in a moment, and the KD agents with massive amount of momentum. They get the fort at the top. 6 kills to 2. The damage output, we have it on 17,000 for Li Ming. Alarak on 15k. Same as Vala, by the way, so she's the top damage dealer for the red team. And after they took that fort out and now have a 1-level lead, they're even able to destroy the wall. This is oh, they're gonna get some kills! Yes, they go for Vala, and she's toast. Imperius went in very deep to help out with that kill. But Alarak, he is just picking up more and more damage, more and more sadism and stacks on his level 4. So even if you have to sacrifice somebody like Imperius for a trade kill, then it's totally worth it. They took that wall out at the top. Vala also, when we're talking stacks, is now sitting at 13. 6.5 minutes into the game. The pressure at the bottom of the map. And the only problem that Kenny has so far is that he's running out of mana. Well, Furion can help with that problem, at least temporarily. A wicked counter-strike on level 10, and we have Tranquility for Mouth. So now they're confident enough to go for the camps. Starting to claim this one pretty quickly. But for the red team, they are going to get level 10 for the next objective. So they're not going to have too much of a problem here around being competitive on Immortal number 2. But the pressure at the bottom of the map is still on. And they are able to take the towers out. So, yeah. But for now, we have all the way up at the top. Chen still controlling the lane against Arthas. The two of them keep gliding here. It's a pretty big front line when you're thinking about it. And actually, Arthas had not gone into Syndragosa, despite the fact that he's the side laner for the team. We are seeing him with Army of the Dead, which is fairly rare lately. Normally, it's a lot of Syndragosa empowered plays, but Arthas is having a problem. Pops the army, pops it way too late. Tried to hold the cooldown back for the next game. And that didn't work out for them at all. So Arthas is down. That's a 5 versus 4. Imperius uses ult. They're trying to get away here, basically. But that's a kill, and Imperius is gone. Malfurion too late to help them here. So what started off as a nice situation where they take the side laner out, now turned against them as Vala ripped them a new one with a double kill on Imperius and Chen. Li Ming could do some damage in the meantime, but that is bad news. That's extra stacks for Vala, and that's putting her into an absolute perfect spot to make a move here on this one. So, yeah, with that, yeah, this is going to get interesting here. We now have the attack against Alarak at the bottom. He is obviously the one that they need to try and keep alive as best as they can so he doesn't lose his sadism stacks. He's still building his level 4. This fort at the bottom of the map, by the way, is under enormous amounts of pressure and is taking way too much damage. It's not something that the red team should be comfortable with. Illidan, Fat Illidan jumping in again. The Keck and the double kill. Trying for the triple, and Li Ming with the wave of force gets the hit in. Triple kill from Li Ming. Nicely done. And that puts them into a glorious spot, of course. Not only on the objective, but also now down at the bottom of the map as they're coming in with the next pressure play to drop the wall. Level 13 talents give them an even bigger lead over the red team. And the Immortal will be won by them again. So yeah, job well done here. This is going to be a 50% shield. And they have even a chance to go for a keep here. Alarak going into the right of Rakshir now. His damage should actually also start to... Oh, they are invading here. Why are they forcing that fight? Hello, team? You don't have level 13. Why would you voluntarily fight here? They lose Vala. That is some pretty suspect decision-making. Sylvanas is dead. This entire attack was already bad enough as it started off. But now it's gonna get even more dangerous because the KD agents have a numbers advantage on the map. And this is likely going to be a disaster. It would have been much, much smarter for the Sloth Sanctuary to just try and defend with the keep in the back. but they just rolled the dice here. If you get a kill quickly, then you can force a fight like this. But that did not work out the way that they envisioned it. So now it's 14 kills to 5. And they're losing a lot. They're gonna lose a lot, maybe even... I mean, probably not the game, but this is still gonna hurt. Imperius turns it around, gets aggressive. They take Vala down. Aegis saves the day for just a second on the side of Sylvanas. But she's likely gonna fall. She actually survives, but they're gonna get more kills now. Imperius is low. Cosmic is split from the rest of the team and dies on Auriel, as the Immortal has murdered that keep and is now moving towards the core. They have 3 defenders still standing, but for not much longer. Sylvanas, she makes it out of the fight. The Immortal with even more damage right now. They're trying to go for Arthas. They're trying to go for Johanna. The core is down to 70% as Sylvanas dies. Chen still alive, but needs heal desperately and doesn't get it. But there's the kill from Alarak against Johanna. And he is just absolutely crushing it right now. 42,000 damage puts him into the top damage slot. The core is at 24% right now. Li Ming with a few more combos. They got the core on 16, 14. All they need some auto attacks. They're about to move back here, actually. I can't believe that they didn't just commit with 14% missing. But they're trying to play this slow. And it might even work for them. They're making plays on Vala now. Imperius is there. They can try and go for the core again and see where that nets them. But they are hesitant. They are looking for the ult with Imperius and they can't quite connect it. Alarak is low. Looks for the counter-strike. Gets a heal. And Sylvanas is dropped by Li Ming, who gets the reset. 14%. In comes Imperius, 12%. I do not understand why the rest just doesn't attack. It's 4% on the core. Right-click that shit. What are you doing? Why are you fighting here? It's 4%. For the love of God, just right-click the core. Please, Lord, just go for it. Oh my God.
Holy shit.
Oh, Chen, be the hero that we need. Be the hero they don't deserve. The shield has already built up and he is too late. What is happening here? The full-on grief is crazy. 12 kills to 21 now. They had about a dozen opportunities to just right-click. You don't even have to use abilities. Just right-click. Newsflash. Even Malfurion does damage with auto attacks. Unbelievable. The KD agents with a full-on grief over here. I mean, seriously. I don't know who's shot calling for those boys, but either the team doesn't follow the calls, or the calls have been a bit odd. At 4%, all you gotta do is hit an auto attack and you're done. I mean, they get more kills, makes it a bit more exciting, I guess. 22 to 12 now. Nice! Good damage. Mind control, though. Kani is dead, but so is Sylvanas. It's just an all-out slugfest at the bot lane right now. The red team doesn't want to lose the core. Alarak gets another kill. Where's the heal? Well, it's too late. Malfurion just came in on the last second. But here comes the army. They're trying for Cosmic, and they get the kill. What a game. What a game. So, yeah, that is the end of good old Arthas. And this is going to be the end of the game. Probably. Maybe. Hopefully. I think so. The shield is getting attacked. And now they should be able to make that happen. Shield is slowly going to fall. The auto attacks are slowly coming. And yeah, a couple more heals. A couple more jumps. A few more abilities. And this is going to be it. Or maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Because honestly, at this point, I don't know anymore. So they're getting the core shield down. 4%. And there's the victory. Finally. With 40 kills in game number 1, the KD agents take the lead in the best of 3. We're going to head in game number 2 in a second. Guys, if you enjoy the content, if you like the coverage here, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. It really helps to spread the videos to people that were interested in Heroes of the Storm in the past and might rejoin the game. So spread the love a little bit, help to promote the games here, like and subscribe, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the series. It seems that the KD agents were a little bit afraid of having some weird, crazy 1% core and then getting killed by the Sloth Sanctuary. But yeah, they stood in their own way there. They won the game. They won the game. They have the point on the board, so it's all good. But they definitely stood in their own way. 4% on the core, and 3 heroes decide that they're not gonna just right-click it and instead move back. And a core with 4% and no shield, I might add. It was way harder for them to come back in and drop the shield as well. But absolutely wild ending here in game number 1. You gotta give it to them. They played a very solid and controlled game, but towards the end, they were a little bit afraid of winning from the looks of it. Now we're heading into Sky Temple. It's our second map in the series. 10 heroes have been played and cannot be played again. And of course, now the big question is, what are we getting as our picks here? But it was a fun ending. Oh god. Like, at some point I was just like, wow. Why is nobody in voice just yelling, just right click that thing? Even auto attacks would have solved it. It was kind of fun though. We got a lot more kills. So yeah, good stuff. Diablo gets banned, Garrosh gets banned, a couple of the frontliners are taken out, and it leads us to a quick Dehaka pick from the blue team. So on Sky Temple, again, globals are quite nice here. Falstad banned, Dehaka taken. They go for the liability here. And I'm not talking Reyna. Artanis as a first pick? Yeah, okay. The only reason why I would let an Artanis pick slide here is if you go Murky next and then you go to Laser. Octograb Laser comp. Which is of course fairly useless, because it just can too easily be countered, but it would be at least funny. We get Tyrael and Kharazim on the other side, but yeah, Artanis is going to trigger a couple of people. Artanis is still trash. I would love an Artanis buff, I would, but Artanis is a trash pick. Even on Battlefield of Eternity, he's a trash pick. Why is he a trash pick? Very simple reason. Because you always have a better option. Yes, he adds some things. Yes, he can be fun to play. But if you want to win the video game, other choices are usually better. I like that ban though. That is a ban that is pretty smart. That? There I let the Artanis pick slide. That's a good one. You know what they were trying to do? And I missed it. They were trying to go for a backdoor comp. Tyrael was taken away from them and Morales was banned out. They were worried that it would end up with a backdoor comp. So they picked Tyrael and they banned out Morales. I don't know if this is really what the Sloth Sanctuary was trying to do here. But Artanis can make sense if you're going for a backdoor comp, because you have your ult and you can blind everybody. That gives you more time to attack whichever structure you're trying to backdoor. Not too bad. I like it. Abathar and Illidan, I like that a lot as well. So we're going to get Sanctification for Tyrael. It's going to be a good one. You have Symbiote on Illidan and on Kharazim. It's going to be great. But yeah, in a scenario where you have a 5-mapper, for example, with the you can only play hero once rule, Artanis on the last map might actually make a little bit of sense depending on the map and depending on if we had a couple of triple front lines. But generally speaking, he's just not a good pick because you always can get another option here. It would explain it though if they really wanted to go for a backdoor comp. That would be a good explanation for it. Unfortunately, we're not going to find out. Let's go straight into game number 2, Sky Temple. Yeah, unfortunately, we're never going to find out if they really would have gone for the backdoor or not. But we at least get a pretty fun draft on the side of the blue team. With simply on Tyrael, we got McGiblets on Kharazim, Kani on Abathar with a pressurized glance, Time Bullet on Dehaka, and White Tiger is playing Illidan. On the right side of the map, the Sloth Sanctuary with Rabbit on Trash Tannis, going for the reactive parry on level 1. We got Ruini on ETC. Zolt's Decay with Kel'Thas, Narsha on Jimmy, coming straight in with Ace in the hole, and we get Cosmic on Anduin. The White Tiger rides the White Tiger, name clearly checks out, nicely done, and let's go Illidan. He came, he saw, and he peed his pants. Veni, Vidi, PP. So yeah, good job. We're gonna check that one out again. So Illidan thought he's cool, jumped in, and then he gets immediately destroyed within half a second. He laubert hard. And yeah, that's honorable Sudoku right there. Oh, absolute, like a perfect Illidan play. Absolutely perfect. This is how you announce yourself to the opponent's team as an Illidan player. Tyrael, by the way, goes into the Ardent Restoration. Are we going to see Judgment from him? It would be funny. I mean, normally when you're going for a lineup like this, I would say go for Sanctuary, but Sanctification, and then you can also play around the boss with it a little bit. It would be really fun to see Judgment into Hunt. I gotta admit, that would be kind of funny. But what we get it for now is an invade on the camp, which will maybe... No, it's not going to be contested. Well, they get the Haka in, they are contesting it, and they're grabbing it. Okay, so they take the Siege Giants, and now they're pressuring first ETC. And Illidan comes in and wants to say hello, apparently, as well. Artanis isn't here yet. Yeah, so they fall back. It's obviously a little bit dicey in the early game when you don't have the 5th hit point bar in those big fights, mainly because you don't have the copy on Abathur yet. So that's something that they are going to go for as time continues, and they lock in their level 10 abilities, their heroics. But right now we have 1 kill for the Sloth Sanctuary, because Illidan went for the suicide play at the top. But right now we're getting Adrenal Overlord, we have Divine Vigor, so a little bit more of an aggressive build from Tyrael. It usually leads into Judgment. Down at the bottom of the map, starting with a 3-man here. Artanis went into the Shield Surge, and we have Speed Medal for ETC. First objective popping up in 5 seconds. Yeah, and then we'll see which team is able to get the initial lead here, and also how the combo with Abathur is going to do for them on the map. Illidan, they are not really invading this. I stand corrected. They are. They want this one. They're jumping in. They're getting big damage in on Khaldor. No kill, but can they steal the camp? They are about to get a kill on maybe Jimmy. And yes, Jimmy is down, but they can't take the camp. They can get a kill, but they had to jump out with Kharazim. It was a nice little approach. I really like it. We had a few of those plays in the recent tournament. Actually, in Group A, we had a move like this too from Itrak's team. But that was a nice one. This could have worked. They could have taken the camp. They miss out on the camp, but at least they get the kill. So that's already something. Illidan is now sitting in the middle together with Kharazim, so it seems that the blue team at least is going to be willing to evenly trade temples with the opponent. As Simply with the Abathur support is now moving towards the top and is starting to make his plays there. So yeah, we'll see if they can get some value on this one too. And Abathur is body soaking at the bottom of the map. Kenny is far out and is soaking with his body, trying to get the team a bit of extra experience, which is working out. They have the early level 7 now. Illidan again, aggressive against Jimmy. Reyna needs to be careful. And now with the level 7 talents in, we again have already Mule up on the map as well. So we get Unbound here. But Mule is of course another nice tool, and now that the temple has been soaked, they just need to defend the top lane a little bit and allow Abathur to drop a few more mules, and this is going to get value for them. Abathur, talking about him, has now moved towards the top lane, coming up, of course, initially from the bottom of the map here. And so far, that's not too bad for the Abathur team. Bit ahead in experience, even kills with the opponent, nice structural damage. Could potentially even try and move in on that fort, but obviously there's going to be a defense on it. The problem is that at the top, that's a kill. Kharazim dies as well. Oh! Somebody just got kicked off the platform. So not only he got the Artanis kill, but then he got absolutely destroyed, and he's falling down to Tomb of the Spider Queen now. In case that you didn't know, Sky Temple is actually above Tomb of the Spider Queen. There's still this little Easter egg over here, where you can nibble around this a little bit. And on Tomb of the Spider Queen, obviously, you have Harrison Jones and coming down. So in case you're a little bit newer to the game, by some miracle, that is a thing. So just on the location perspective, those two maps are connected technically. Now, 3 kills to 2, half a level until level 10. With Khaldor being taken out, it's pretty nice for the KD agents, because it means that they have now a pretty significant lead in experience. A huge one, actually. And Illidan has also gotten a lot of stacks on his level 7 already. I mean, he is about to complete the quest and get his second charge here on the Sweeping Strike. So, good for him. And with level 10 abilities, we indeed get Judgment, which is actually pretty cool. Not what I thought we would get. Metamorphosis. 7-sided strike. Illidan says hello. And, well, might be a bit too low. No! There's the 7-sided. Metamorphosis was used. Illidan is alive way longer than he should be. And they get the kill on Jimmy. They take down ETC, and that's Khaldor and also Anduin gone. Big fight, big hits, and that is 4 heroes down and a massive leading experience right now. They're already moving on the board even without the objective. But what a battle over that camp. Fighting against level 10. I still question the decision making a little bit there. Now they of course have to pay the price, but that definitely hurt. And now the red team finally has their own heroic abilities, but it's a little bit too late. Now the one thing that surprises me slightly is that for some reason the blue team has decided they're hating temples. So while they're taking structures out, they are not going for the bottom temple. There's nobody there. I'm not 100% certain what the thought process here is. 2 forts are now taken out, but why are you not going for this one? Did they not realize that he's up? They must have realized that, right? They're getting kills here, and they're getting value. They're getting another fort at the top, but I don't see a reason to just let that temple go. They could have had somebody on it and soak a few shots until the opponent appears. They decided against it, and I don't really understand why. Now they're getting the fort at the top at least. Illidan is attacking at the bottom. Even with the Abathur support, he needs to be a little bit careful because, well, that's too many heroes against him. Gets Metamorphosis out, got 1 kill, and can trade. I mean, he's occupying so much space and time off the red team, so even though Illidan dies, that was absolutely worth it. He's slowing down the red team, which is about to take down the fort at the bottom of the map, but that allows them to also steal the camp away at the top. Sloth Sanctuary is still 1.5 levels down, and they're losing more ground here. So this is an opportunity to maybe take a few more structures apart. I would have still very much liked for them to have, I think, the Haka, for example, at the bottom temple initially, and just get some value, but hey, this is still a huge win for them, of course. 17,000 damage for Illidan. Top damage in the game. Even higher than Abathur, which you actually don't see all that often. Abathur's damage output is usually pretty strong. 15,000 for Jimmy, and everybody is easily able to move away at the bottom of the map. There is a boss up, though, that they could go for, and they do. Alright, so they're going for the boss. Illidan is already at it. Should get a little bit of Abathur support for it. You don't want to be too slow on this. Just simply because your opponent, he will hit level 13 talents, and if they sniff it out, then you would still be much better off just fighting with the talent advantage. I mean, there's Phoenix against you, which is a nice zone control tool. There's the Mosh Pit against you. There's the Suppression Pulse. And now ETC sniffs all of that out. Pushes Illidan straight into the boss stun. And there's the big play now. Illidan right in there and gets murdered. And the same is true for Kerosene. Yep, that is how you give your opponent a chance to get back into this. But thanks to Abathur and Dehaka, they get a kill on Khaldor at least, and the fight isn't over yet. Tyrael tries to move in and take Anduin out. Gets close, but gets stunned out. And is still somehow alive and kicking. Jumps in, tries to go for the kill. They also, with the copy, nearly got... Oh my god, what? They nearly got the ETC kill, and now they get both. ETC, Anduin, Jimmy, they're all dead. It's a 5-man team wipe. Unbelievable. How did they win this one? That is insane. That should not have been winnable. It was 13 versus 13 talents, and I honestly, the only explanation that I have is that the red team just refused to target the same heroes. But that was crazy. Absolutely nuts. 16 versus 14 now. We have a double temple up and the shots are being thrown. But that is just incredible. This is absolutely incredible. So, yeah. White Tiger is going for the boss solo, which ETC sees, of course. At the same time, the temples are being taken. So they have to decide what they want to go for. Illidan is against suiciding. Going 1v5 here, typical Illidan player. So they're getting the shots at the bottom of the map, but not as many as they want to. And this was, again, these are the things that are kind of fun, but they're also heavily avoidable, because why would you do this? You are at level 16 talents against level 13 talents. So you don't have to give that up. They're getting big damage in on the keep in the middle. Bot lane is, of course, now taken by the red team. But it is still... I mean... Do I really think that the red team can bring this back? I have my doubts, but it depends also quite heavily on how exactly the KD agents are playing this now. Because, let's just face it for just a second, if they are at this point making a few more mistakes and giving opportunities to the red team to get kills and catch up in experience, then this might still flip. Now, here they are aggressive again and they're getting a kill on Kelthas, which is obviously pretty neat. Kelthas has now died 5 times and is really struggling in this game. But we also have Jimmy at the top trying to defend this. More towers have now fallen, damage done to the fort. So that is the next one here. And Illidan is now trying. 3rd time's the charm. 3rd time's the charm. Illidan is just thinking, you know what? We're gonna go for this. Eventually we're gonna win this boss. It's gonna take a long time, but eventually we're gonna get it. And I think this might be the one where they finally are able to claim it. It's kind of funny to me that only 2 heroes have died on the side of the KD agents and Illidan has died 5 times. He's also done a lot of damage and gotten a lot of kills, but he died 5 times. So now we have the boss claimed. We have 22 kills in total. Red team is already falling back a bit as they're at least trying to take the mercenary camp at the top right. Which they are able to pull off here. Also, the build for Jimmy, he went into Fuel the Rush. Give me more, and then we got the rallying cry here for him. And doing now with the double pull, of course. But the play for the middle is happening, so they're starting to get aggressive. And they're trying again to go for the keep. Illidan just jumping around like a rabbit on speed. And they get it. First keep is gone. Down at the bottom of the map, we have the next attack. The wall is destroyed. Double temple is coming up. And Illidan is going 1v5 again. Gets the Metamorphosis out and dies a second later. So does Tyrael. Trade value incoming! Yes! Hits only 1 target though. I love how Illidan destroyed the keep and then said, like, you know what? There's another keep at the bottom of the map. How about I attack that? Just as a side note, if you would have gone to the top lane, you could have attacked the keep without any heroes doing anything. Even the slug is out now! Abathar gets killed. No!
Hail to the king, baby.
The slug gets eliminated. There is a bit of a troll factor on this one too. But, yep, if you troll a little bit too much, then you can get punished. So either Abathar just had a little bit of a brain fart, or I'm not sure what that was. And jumping in, the isolation, and that is the end of Kelthas. They go for the Haka. And he is also gone as Jimmy is still soaking shots in the middle of the map. And by now, we're gonna see another fort fall. So all the forts are gone on the blue team side all of a sudden. They have level 20 talents. Yep, level 20 is in. Ooh, and that's gonna be damage too. Double catapult, 14 minutes in. Yeah, it's not quite destroying everything, but it's at least chunking it down slightly. And the same is of course happening up at the top lane where I think the keep could actually fall. The keep is very likely gonna... Oh my god, Anduin! Take that catapult out! I think he might be too late. Yep, one more shot and it's gone. So is Jimmy. Was killed at the bottom of the map and now 2 keeps destroyed. We have Illidan immediately getting aggressive again. Up against 4. This time he realizes that he might be slightly outnumbered even with the help of Abathar. But he buys time for the rest of the team at the bottom of the map. So they're starting to come in on this one. Illidan has upgraded to the demonic form. And we got the Angel of Justice. And now Illidan comes in. Wants the kill on Kelthas. And doesn't get it. Attacks the core a little bit. Still jumps around it. And honestly, is still alive, which is insane. But then jumps into the mosh pit. Yeah, congratulations, my friend. So Illidan just commits Sudoku again. Jumped into the mosh pit instead of just trying to dodge around. He would have survived for much longer than that. So yeah. Illidan got jealous. He saw the sexy moves from Tyrael and Karazim and he's like, oh baby, those hips don't lie. Wants to be part of the party, jumps in and just says hello. So yeah, there we are. 31 kills in total, 2 kills per minute. Damage output, we got 31,000 now from Tyrael. And yeah, the slug over on the left side. Everybody died at least once in this game. The problem, of course, for the Sloth Sanctuary is that structurally they're just so far behind, it's nearly impossible to bring this one back. They have the level 20 talents. Suppression Pulse gets upgraded in the Orbital Bombardment. We now got the power of the Horde for ETC. Anduin also with Inner Fire. And Jimmy with Raiders Roll. So, one single temple is activating. I got a bit of an inkling that Illidan is going to make a play for the core. At some point. So, yeah. Let's see if that's going to turn out to be the case. He's already on a mission. Illidan! And well, they see him. They're going to try and hearth here. Jimmy is actually back. It's a double Illidan as they go for the copy. They want that core, and they're going to get it. 7-sided strike against Jimmy. Here comes ETC. Shield is nearly gone. Yep, and they're going to get damaged. The only question is how much it's going to be. Karazim is dead already. Karazim is dead. Will the real Illidan please stand up? He needs the symbiote. Kelpos is down at the bottom of the map, and the Haka is going to shoot this out soon. But the core is falling, and it's falling quickly, but it's stopping at 44%. The problem is that the Haka is going through the keep, and now the core is going to get attacked directly. So they have to send somebody down in order to deal with this, or the game is going to end right here. And it might. He just needs to buy a little bit more time. And this is game, ladies and gentlemen. A 2-0 victory for the KD Agents here in Group B of the Underdog Cup. GG.